Have you seen the abundance of videos on social media about the Bible's end days? Yes, because with the possibility of a third world war starting, yes, all sorts of conflicts emanating here and there and everywhere, people start promoting these kinds of videos. Yet one has to remember one thing. The Bible has been toyed with by Zionists for the longest of time. And obviously, it presents certain things, but it presents the way things go nonetheless. Because the Zionists have made pacts with dark forces, and one of the pacts forces them to speak the truth of things, how they will happen, irrespective of situation. But it never mentions how, so they can always put the truth in forms and shapes of riddles and the such, because this way those riddles will give people the impression that the truth is something completely differently, or they have mastered in time the way of writing the riddle as different stories and mystifying those stories so that people in time become accustomed to those being just stories and not some deeper meaning. See, what the end days say is that Christ will come again. Jesus Christ will not come again physically, yes, unless they are some kind of avatar, which can explain why they were born out of one single parent, or, well, why they had only one father according to Islam. But the very simple point is an avatar is a being of great power that can bypass the cycle of incarnation and appear as a human being, or not just a human being, on this planet yet again. One has to comprehend they are not the real being. A very powerful being once created such an avatar so that when times are needed, it may come back again from a source, yes, from the source of that creation, yes, of that great being's creation. That avatar can come back yet again every time they are needed, yes, and they will live a human life and they will also pass away. You have to understand Jesus Christ is not the only enlightened being that walked this planet. Yes, according to other philosophies and, well, religious and non religious beliefs, other enlightened beings have existed on this planet. And in the end, they have all lived a human life and they have all passed away one way or another. Yes, especially if we take Hinduism into account. Because a lot of religious people might have a bad habit of shunning away such beliefs. Yes, none of us have been in the past to see which of these are actually true, and we can see how many stars the mainstream media is inventing. So there is a small possibility that many of these have also been invented, or the history of them has been reinvented and toyed with by the Zionists as well. So when it comes to the Bible's end days, there are two striking things that people probably expect. Yes, the revival of all the dead, and obviously the returning of Jesus Christ. See, if Jesus Christ would come again, they will have the same fate that they had back in the times. Because the sick society we live in will obviously have enough people to consider them a fake, and they will be dealt with psychiatry or any other way. Be sure that the Zionists or their followers will do everything to rid the world of him. So be sure that he will not come physically. Yes. He will know in his wisdom that he will be dealt with. Yes. But one has to comprehend one thing. The revival of all the dead is not to be taken literally. It refers to the people living a dead life, yes, breaking out of that ignorance and coming back to life, yes, gaining consciousness and embracing their emotions and embracing life once again. That is what it refers to when it comes to Jesus Christ raising the dead from their graves. Yes, because this is not going to be something physical. Expect the Zionists to use Project Bluebeam to project a 7D illusion Jesus that all the nations will see. This is highly expectable because imagine how much of a crisis it will create. Yes, don't forget that your religion has been transformed in time into a tool that makes you very docile by expecting creation to actually do something for you and save you from all your problems. But at the same time, it says that you have free will. So it is you who has to save yourself, no one else will. So the second coming of Jesus Christ is humans reaching an apex, a lot of humans reaching an apex in consciousness and waking people up. We already have such people doing a lot of work, yes, doing God's work for humanity, waking people up here and there and everywhere. Yes, you have to comprehend such people will not necessarily be Christians or necessarily religious. Yes, the more one becomes enlightened, the less of an importance religion will have, because one will become more knowledgeable of the fact that they are their own savior. They do not need someone to return from the grave or to float again from the skies to save them. Yes? So stop taking these things literally, because they have been mystified by the Zionists to be taken literally. Yes? To be minified and taken into account as such. But they are not specifically like that. They refer to the end times of a dying world. This current dying world, the prison world of the Zionists, as well as most of them. Yes, people will start, they already are waking up. But as the system is crumbling, more and more people will become more sensitive, more empathic, and they will reach higher levels of awareness. This is what the end days of the Bible actually truly refer to. Because in the end, one has to comprehend the Christ as a name does not necessarily refer to Jesus. It refers to a certain level of consciousness, with people, including the Gnostics, mentioning it as Jesus Christ's level of consciousness. One has to comprehend one thing: there are higher levels of consciousness even than that. So do not fall for that pit hole of awareness or of the mind where you think that Jesus Christ is the Alpha and Omega. They have been a great being, nonetheless, obviously, and they had the power to forgive everyone, even if they died a horrible death. But the point is, there are higher levels of awareness even so, yes? And there have been beings which reached a higher level of consciousness compared to Jesus Christ. But obviously, this does not minify him in any way, shape, or form, because there is this perverse thinking in a lot of Christians who are stuck in the ways of the medieval times that Jesus Christ is the only enlightened being and is the only one that there can be. Yes, enlightened beings there have been throughout the times, and be sure that there are still nowadays, yes, in many parts of the world, most of them secluded, but they still have their own influence on keeping the planet in a positive vibration. Yes, and even empathic people have such tremendous influence. Yes, highly sensitive people. There are a lot of people on this planet, me included, but well, while we are not necessarily equal to Jesus Christ, it is much better that such people exist and create and preserve a certain level of positivity around them, yes, than simply none of them existing. All this being said, thank you for listening. Thank you for joining around. Take care and, well, enjoy the video, enjoy life. And this being said, Ferenc Jan Board signing out.